Hello, welcome to the Phil Garris Show. As you've seen in the news, there's a landmark bill pending in California. It's called AB5. It's about the rideshare industry and the debate whether employees are independent contractors or not. Hang on for a second, and I'll be right back after the intro. Hold on to your handlebars and tighten your seatbelt. This is going to be a good one.
Educational, informative, controversial content to keep you free. This is the Radio for Freedom Network, featuring the Phil Garris Show, broadcasting from the city beautiful Orlando, Florida.
Welcome back to the show. As a lot of you know, I'm a retired building contractor. And before I was a building contractor, I was a superintendent for some large and small construction companies. During the early 80s to the mid 80s, there was a movement in the construction industry, and the movement was to dump employees and call them subcontractors. Traditionally, the construction industry has used contractors, especially subcontractors. They were called Tier 2 contractors. They were basically known as licensed electricians, licensed plumbers, licensed HVAC, licensed mechanical contractors, and so on. And these were true independent contractors working for either a general or building contractor. But during the 80s, there was a real pressure to reduce cost. And one of the largest costs was workman comp cost on labor, especially semi-skilled and unskilled labor. And there was a movement to dump these employees off the payroll and put them misclassified as independent contractors. Now, the rideshare industry has picked up on this, and this is exactly what they're doing to their drivers. They're misclassifying them as subcontractors or independent contractors, which they are not. In the early 80s, project managers would bring in the superintendents and give them lessons on how to transition employees into independent contractors. And part of the game was the employees would try to start their little mini company, and they would get business cards, they would get work comp exemptions. Now, this is done so the general contractor does not have to pay work comp costs because, believe me, in the construction business, it is sky high. So they would get their work comp exemption, they would get their little business cards, and we were told not to ever tell them when they had to show up for work. But the way we dealt with that was we would offer them draws, and there would be dates when they would get their draws. And this was a way of controlling how to get them on the job and how to get them to complete their project on time. So it was essentially a roundabout way to tell them when to get to work. Now, I think Uber and Lyft are using some of the same techniques. I've heard on YouTube a lot of drivers are saying, well, hey, we're free. We can work when we want to work. But really what's happening is Uber and Lyft seem to be using the same techniques the construction industry used by using a monetary carrot. Okay, if you work this time, you will get this amount of money. If you work in the afternoons, you'll get more money. If you work in the evenings, you will get more money, and so on. And this is how they manipulate you to get you to work the times they want you to work. So you're really not getting ahead. I guess you would say you're being told when to work, and it's controlled by money. But I would like to go over some of the labor busting techniques I learned when I was a superintendent, and it was taught to us by project managers and owners of construction companies, both large and small. And these are fairly common techniques that have been used to manipulate labor for God a long time. I'm not sure how long, but these are pretty common known techniques. And for new rideshare drivers, or even old rideshare drivers, this may be helpful to learn these techniques. I was very lucky and was taught these techniques firsthand in order to manipulate labor. Part of the labor busting techniques is that the company will hire labor busting lawyers and firms that specialize in labor busting. They will spread rumors that unions are bad and you may lose your job if you become organized and demand a higher wage. They will threaten things like, well, the company will pull out of this market. This company will stop working in this state. The costs are too high. And I've heard this on some of the YouTube videos about Uber and Lyft. Some people are saying, well, hey, they may pull out of California if AB 5 is enacted in law. But what's going to happen if they pull out? It's going to create a void in the richest state in the union and one of the most populated states in the union. What's going to happen? I can tell you what. Another rideshare company will fill the void. That will not go unchecked. So don't fall for that crap, because that's not what's going to happen. The next technique, hold on, wait and see. With a labor-busting lawyer on the payroll, it will tell labor, just wait and see. Things will get better. This is used to divide labor. Then the company management will offer some concessions. Well, a little bit higher wage, a little bit better benefits. I think we saw that with Uber. I think they offered $21 an hour. This is a common labor busting technique. This is designed to divide labor. So if you offer somebody a concession, some of the people in the labor pool say, oh God, man, I got a family to feed. I got to take that deal. But what they don't know is the company or the management will not put that in writing. They will not put that in a contract. And the reason why they won't do that is because after a while, they're going to return to the reduced rate and you're going to be back where you started and you will be played as a sucker. The next technique is we still love you emails or letters. A long time ago it was letters, but now it's emails. After reducing your pay and treating you like a poor tenant farmer, all of a sudden management takes an interest in your life and starts sending you emails. These emails are only designed to confuse you and mislead you, and more importantly, again, to divide labor. You might be hearing a common theme here. The common theme is to divide labor. Once you divide labor, you've conquered labor. Often such emails are written by lawyers using the carrot and stick approach. Another technique is, let's sit down and talk it over. Boy, when you hear that, you know you're in trouble because they've already used 3 techniques against you to soften you up. You may be requested to attend a meeting. Keep in mind, again, this is only done after they've softened you up. At this point, you better have your ducks in a row, because I can promise you, management will. And you will be told that your job's at risk, because management doesn't have the money, and simply put, some people would have to go. Another trick, the sit down and let's talk about it technique, is that management will often have a layoff before the sit down meeting and let the news get out and reach labor, only to intimidate you. So when you sit down, you have in back of your mind, hey, other people have been laid off. Am I next? Again, this is a technique to intimidate you. The last technique I like to talk about is just hold on, we will work it out. This technique is also used by insurance companies to delay and deny. So insurance companies, if someone makes a claim, they'll just delay, hoping you will give up. In the labor busting world, the delay is used to buy time so lawyers can manipulate a way out or find a legal loophole to benefit the company and subvert labor. At this point, it's very important for labor to push very hard and deny management of this delay tactic. I think AB 5 is going to be a groundbreaking legislation in the state of California and also throughout the United States. I think AB 5 will spell an end in misclassification of labor and provide labor a stable work environment where they will have health insurance, they will have work comp, the company will pay into their Social Security so they can have a retirement, and they can have a whole benefits package and earn a living wage. I hope this was helpful. Thank you for listening to the Phil Garris Show, and have a good day.